нас нехватка боеприпасов!
Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of Russia's mercenary group Wagner, had genetic testing on bodies involved in the crash on August 23rd confirmed that Prigozhin.
The deaths of the leaders of Wagner Group have caused a lot of chaos in the world. Let's say all the NATO's nations are fighting the president of Russia, Putin, while others are saying it might just be a coincidence.
Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of Russia's mercenary group Wagner, has now been confirmed dead. Genetic testing on bodies involved in the crash on August 23rd confirmed that Prigozhin was among the fatalities. But who was Prigozhin, and why is his death so important? Well, Yevgeny Prigozhin is the self-proclaimed leader of Russia's mercenary group Wagner. Although he denied any link to the group till September 2022, he gained notable popularity after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which led to a great success for the Kremlin. So, that's Prigozhin. But what about the Wagner group? They are described as a mercenary group, which simply means they get paid by countries to fight for them. They have played significant roles in the battlefields of Ukraine, Syria, and they are even increasing their presence in Africa. Although mercenary groups are illegal in Russia, but they are registered as a private military company, so they can get hired for their services. Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Yevgeny has become a prominent figure in the country. But in June 2023, he had a fallout with Putin after he launched an armed rebellion in the country's capital, Moscow. He demanded that the military leaders of the country resign over the handling of the war with Ukraine. The criminal charges filed against him were dropped as part of a deal negotiated by Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko under the condition that he moves to Belarus. Around the same time, Russia's President Putin gave a warning that those on the path of blackmail will be punished. There are speculation that the crash may have been orchestrated by the Kremlin as a form of retaliation. Russia's influence in Africa is greatly connected to the mercenary operation of the Wagner Group. They provide military expertise in exchange for access to resources in countries like Mali, Sudan, Burkina Faso, Libya, and Central African Republic. This growing relationship between Wagner and African nations have raised concerns about the potential impact and stability in the region. Now, with Wagner's prominent role in Russia diminishing and the death of its founder, what will the group look like without him, and will their presence in Africa change?
But our concern is, what if it is Putin? What is his aim and what is he planning? But remember that no president in the entire federation will allow him to be challenged while he's in the office. Before you could point a finger as a Nigeria towards the Putin president, also think of what happened to Nnamdi Kanu when he was challenging your president, Muhammadu Buhari. Even up till now, despite he won the case in the court, he's still not yet released. They could have assassinated him, if not that all eyes were on them already, that they were suspecting him, that if anything happened, they should hold the president responsible. So within his power and influence, still hold Nnamdi Kanu in custody. What happened to Sunday Igboho? So no president in the world will allow anybody to challenge their authority. So when it comes to the part of this Russia president, remember that the Wagner leader who were beating his chest to even plan a coup against the president that is worth power. So I don't want to emphasize about this particular video. I want you guys to watch this news with us. We'll be right back to do some messages here.
Let's assume without considering that he's dead. But I have to tell you that with that particular security company, that company is more or less like a branch of Russian military. So I would be surprised if there is not already a succession plan in case anything happens to any one of the commanders. That's always been the case, with this kind of organizations, is that there will always be someone that will step in to take the position of the commander in the event that the commander is demised. So I will not be surprised that such plan is already in place. Now you have to understand as well too that he has not always been on the good book of Vladimir Putin. And so I would think that this death, if in fact it is, may have some kind of foul play in it. And so we also not be surprised that Russia as a state has also made provision or who is going to take charge of the Wagner group. And so in essence, what I'm saying is that we have, maybe symbolic impact, but operationally, it will have little or no effect on what the Wagner group is doing, and we continue to do.
Let's also situate this because for the first time, just about 2 days ago, he was seen in a video presumed to have been shot on the continent in Africa, where he also spoke about its operations here on the continent. For those who are close watchers of that mutiny that occurred in June, Putin was categorical when he said everyone had been forgiven, even when his closest ally had asked Prigozhin to come, I think the Belarusian leader.
Yeah.
Now, yes, Lukashenko. Now, going from what is happening now, is it safe to think that this just because for some of the eyewitnesses, they say the aircraft actually blew up before it touched down?
I think it would be naive for anyone to think that because Putin said he has forgiven everybody, therefore he has forgiven everybody. Everybody that has rebelled against Putin, one of three things will happen to you. Is either you're poisoned and you died from that poison, or you're poisoned and you return to Russia and you're sent to prison, or you are killed one way or the other. So it would be very, very naive for him, Prigozhin himself, to think that after embarrassing Putin internationally, that
it was an embarrassment,
serious embarrassment, that he will forgive him just like that. I don't think that is safe to say.
So, from our personal view, that even if it was Russia president, so the only thing I could point out is that remember that Niger just recently planned a coup, that the Russia was having interest in that nation on how to help them to combat these issues of NATO or the French country taking out their resources. Now, let's break it. If your own president is planning something ahead, and the Wagner Group is also planning their own on how to support this nation. So, how will the credits, on how is the credits going to come to the Russia president? Everybody were praising much more. Remember, much more of the Wagner Group. All the news is that the Wagner Group is supporting, the Wagner Group is supporting the Niger, Wagner Group is. They were not doing much of the work that the president of the Russia could have done, or the credits that will come to the president of Russia. Now, the Wagner Group were doing everything. Personally, not that I'm pointing wrong finger towards Putin, but if he did it, I'm not here to fault him because it's not my own duty. I'm just a common blogger. But if it was you, how would you feel that you being a king, another person is taking credits for your own domain, for your own territory? Remember how Bola Ahmed Tinubu just recently quenched Asari Dokumbo that, okay, you are not allowed to come to the Aso Rock, and his private military was just recently disabled. So I want you guys to point it out that no president would not feel jealous. Even this American stuff of a thing that is pointing wrong fingers toward this nation. Personally, I want to hear from you in the comment section. What do you think about these issues? Do you think, okay, even if it is Russia president, is it the wrong thing or is it the right thing? Because for me, it's trying to point out that, okay, if you are any paramilitary leader or paramilitary group, we are not engaged to creating a paramilitary group. It is allowed in our nation, but you must swear an oath, because this is what he said after he extended his greetings and condolence to the souls that were lost. Now, he points out a fact that, okay, for this group to continue in existence, all the Wagner group Now that you have no leader, the new leader and the entire group must swear allegiance to the Russia flag and to the Russia soil, that you will abide to the rules and regulations and your loyalties to the country and not to whatsoever group that you trying to form or fighting for your own personal interest. This is what Russia president recently stated, that you must swear an oath to the country. Then a lot of people were not pointing finger. Okay, you must have been the one to assassinate him. But for me, even if he is the one, because the man were already doing too much, going before your president to give help to other country, taking all the credit. It was just like Putin make a plan. After executes the plan, you take the credit. Just recently, this coup that happened in Niger, everybody knows that 100% that Russia president has hand in what happened in Niger, because they have been fighting war with the NATO over a year plus now. The NATO on their own believe that, okay, the only way we can win this war with peace of mind without wavering is for we to have a good resources. Like, okay, now they are drawing oil from Nigeria particularly to the Western world. And this pipeline passed through Niger. Now, if they get this oil as they desire, which means they no longer need help from the Russia. Remember, if you are in the Western world, everything that have to do with mineral is very expensive. I'm not talking about Coke or Fanta. I'm talking about gas, oil, or fuel, or whatsoever. They are very, very expensive presently in the Western world. So Russia, at least being part of the country that supply them, then when you are fighting this war, they are doing it diplomatically and violently. Russia is also making things difficult for the Western world to fully involve in this war. So they are trying to direct their attention to Africa, now that other Saudi Arabia and another country refuse to supply them the resources they want. Getting it from Africa might be more easier for them. So passing through Niger, this pipeline, the Russia, which I think, not that I know, that okay, if this pipeline pass through this country, let's take over this country. Once this country try to speak or talk anyhow, we blow the pipeline. That has been the interest of the Niger, that if Nigeria invade their country, we'll blow this oil pipeline. And if they blow it, this is a contract, this is a project of the billions of dollars. So I don't think Nigeria, on the other hand, or the Western world will want to get involved in this particular mess. That has been the only thing that is standing the Nigeria and the ECOWAS force not to invade the Niger. So, all right, guys, I want to hear from you in the comment section. What do you think about this old Russia leader of a team and that of the Wagner Group boss, how he was assassinated? If it was President Putin, what do you think? That is it the right thing or is it the wrong move? So I want to hear from you in the comments. Until we meet again, please, if you are not subscribed, please do. If you do, turn on your notification bell so that you wouldn't miss out any of our future uploads. Until we meet again, stay tuned, Plan B TV. Peace out.
Subscribe to get notified. And I see the show your support. Now say God bless you too.
Sense on the bit.
Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV. Oh, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV.